Hello dear DSC candidates, welcome back to my Grammar for Success channel. I am Coresh Babu, a retired lecturer in English from Hyderabad. In today's video, I am going to give you a detailed summary of Animal Farm written by George Orwell. I hope you have watched the first video, because if you can watch it, that video will definitely help you understand this summary thoroughly well. Okay, and I therefore request all of you to watch this video till the end without skipping it in the middle. Thank you so much. Now let's get into the video. Detailed summary of Animal Farm. Okay, we are going to learn about this summary. It is a little bit lengthy because it is not a short story, it is a novella. It is longer than a short story and shorter than a novel. Therefore, the summary is also going to be a little bit lengthy. So if you want to know the complete story thoroughly well, you have to listen to this story very attentively, right? So here, Manor Farm is a small farm in England run by the harsh and often drunk Mr. Jones. So here, this Manor Farm, you have to say Manor Farm. So Manor Farm means what? Manor Farm is nothing but a large area of land with a large building of its owner, okay, and other small buildings around it. Generally, the farm will be like that because the owner will be living in that, and around his owner's house there will be living the workers also, and therefore their houses are also located around the house of this owner or landlord. So here, Manor Farm is a small farm. Of course, it is small in size. Generally, it will be big in size and small in size, large in whatever it. So it's a small farm. Where is this Manor Farm? It is in England. Run by means here it is owned by, okay, the harsh. Harsh means what? Very cruel, very unkind, okay, often very unfair, okay, and often drunk Mr. Jones. So this Jones is the owner of this Manor Farm. He is always drunk. Yes, all the 24 hours he'll be drinking and drinking and drinking. He'll be always in an inebriated condition, intoxicated condition. So he was also a very harsh man, very unfair and unkind man, right? One night what happened? A prize-winning boar named Old Major. So on this farm there is a prize-winning boar. So boar is there. What is this boar? Boar is a small male pig or swine, whatever you can say. It's a prize winning boar, so that is going to that is very likely to win a prize also. That prize winning means very healthy, very strong, and like that, you know. So it's a prize winning boar named Old Major. The name of that boar is Old Major. So you know very well, this Animal Farm, the entire Animal Farm is written in the format of a fable. Fable means, I have already told you in the first video, a story in which the animals will be the characters. So the story will be running only with the animals, and you know very well. So this entire Animal Farm has been written in the format of a fable, and therefore here you can find one character. What is that? Old Major. This Old Major is not a human being, but here this is a boar, an animal, a pig, and here Mr. Jones is there. He is a human being, okay, and human beings and animals will live together, and this is a kind of story, okay, right? You might have watched several cartoon films, Thelma, Mona, and what is that? My grandsons will watch all those serials on Netflix and Prime Video and all that. So I was also rather forced to watch them. They are really very, very interesting. So in those stories, what happens now? Animals will be the characters and human beings will also be there beside them, and the story will be very, very interesting for the children. So that is there. So here, this Old Major, what did he do? Gathers all animals of Manor Farm. So one day he gathered all the animals of the Manor Farm together, okay, knowing that he will die soon. So this old major knows pretty well that he is going to die very shortly because he is very old, right? He tells them of a dream he has had in which all animals live together with no human beings to oppress or control them. So this old major gathers all animals of that farm and tells them about his dream which he had last night. Last night, this old major had a dream, and about that dream, this old major now telling the other animals what is there in that dream means, in which all animals live together. So he has dreamt a dream in which all the animals are living together with no human beings to oppress or control them. So that is a wonderful dream. That's a sweet dream. All animals are living together with no human being to oppress them, to mistreat them, to ill-treat them, and also control them. There is no other human being to control them. So that is the thing. So that is the dream this old major has dreamt. So the same dream he was narrating to all other animals the next day, right? And here he asks all the animals to work towards such a paradise. So he is appealing to all the animals that have gathered there to work for that kind of paradise, that kind of heaven, that kind of a pleasant place, okay, where no human being will be oppressing them, no human being will be mistreating or ill-treating them, okay. And he teaches them a revolutionary song called Beasts of England, okay. Here he also teaches them a revolutionary song, just like our Govt has taught the people of Telangana. Badram Koduko, some song is there. He is asking the people of this Telangana to be on the alert, to be careful. So some song, so there are so many revolutionary songs in Telangana, in Andhra and all that. That's a different matter. But just I am giving you one example. Here he teaches them a revolutionary song, Beasts of England. So that he teaches them. The animals greet major's vision. Vision means again dream. So they welcome this major's dream with great enthusiasm. That means, with open arms, heartily, or with great happiness and zeal and all that. So this is the meaning of this very simple passage. The story is written in a very simple way, and you can also read this and you can also understand it very easily, okay. Very simple words are used in this. No difficult word is used. If at all any difficult word is used, I am giving the meaning of that immediately. You can just note it down if necessary. You just give a reading to this detailed summary once or twice or thrice. It will be just in your mind. And in my third video, I am going to deal with literary devices. And in the fourth video, I am going to give you what important quotes of the novella, and also one small exercise of 30 bits and all that from the examination point of view. So 4 videos are going to be made. So after this video, 2 more videos are going to be uploaded. You please wait for them, because this is not a short story. It's a novella. So you have to work a little bit harder to understand this novella, right? This first paragraph is over. Now let's move on to the next paragraph. Next paragraph is there. When he dies only 3 nights after the meeting, 3 younger pigs, Snowball, Napoleon and Squealer, formulate his main principles into a philosophy called animalism. So here this old major dies after 3 days after the meeting was held, okay. And 3 younger pigs, Snowball, Napoleon and Squealer. So these 3 are the younger pigs, okay. What did they do? They formulate his main principles. So from the speech of that old major, they take the main principles of his speech are turned into a philosophy that is called animalism. Late one night, the animals revolt and managed to defeat the farmer Mr. Jones. So here this farmer Jones is there. You know very well, he was very harsh and he was also always drunk. So one night what happened? All the animals rebelled against this Mr. Jones, and they managed to defeat him. They defeat this Mr. Jones, the farmer, in a battle and make him leave off the farm. So the battle took place between the animals and this Mr. Jones, and in that battle he was defeated and he was made to leave off the farm. He was made to leave off the farm means he was made to leave the farm and run away. So that thing happened. And you go to the next paragraph. They renamed the property Animal Farm. So after this Jones was driven out from this manor farm, they renamed the property Animal Farm. So here they have changed the name of the property. Earlier the name of the property was Manor Farm. Now they started calling this property Animal Farm. So in that way they have given this property a new name, right, and dedicate themselves to achieving Major's dream. That means all the animals have started dedicating their life for achieving Major's dream. What is Major's dream? That all the animals living together with no human being there to oppress them, to suppress them, to ill-treat them or mistreat them. So that is a pleasant world, happy world for the animals. So that was the dream of this old major. You know that very well. So for the achievement of this major's dream, they started working from that day onwards. And the cart horse boxer devotes himself to the cause with caution. So on this animal farm, there is one cart horse. Cart horse means the horse that can be used for pulling the cart. So that's why it's called cart horse. The cart horse boxer is there. So it's a horse. What happened? That cart horse devotes himself to the cause with caution. That means this boxer has devoted all his life to achieving Major's dream and committing his great strength to the prosperity of the farm. So this boxer devoted all its strength. It was ready to use all its strength only for the prosperity of the farm. Okay, so that is there. Adopting as a personal maxim, and this boxer also formulated a beautiful personal maxim. What is that? I will work harder. So this boxer has devoted all its life, all its strength for the prosperity of the farm, one point, and it also has formulated or framed a personal maxim for each and every animal that I will work harder. So every animal is asked to say, I will work harder. I will work harder for the prosperity of the farm. So that is what this boxer has set for all other animals from that day onwards. So this is the story which is going on in a simple way. And now let's move on to other paragraphs. At first, animal farm prospers. So very simple. At the beginning, the animal farm started prospering. Okay, it started developing. Okay, and Snowball works at teaching the animals to read, and Napoleon takes a group of young puppies to educate them in the principles of animalism. So here two pigs are there, Snowball and Napoleon. What did Snowball do? He started teaching the animals to read. Okay, he started teaching animals to read and write and all that. And Napoleon takes a group of young puppies, young dogs, okay, to educate them in the principles of animalism. So he took up the task of training the young puppies in the principles of animalism. Okay, in the principles of animalism. When Mr. Jones reappears to take back his farm, so after some time, this Mr. Jones reappears to take back his farm. Then he comes back. After some time, Mr. Jones comes back to take back his farm from the animals, but the animals defeat him again. Again the animals defeat him. They drive him away from that farm. So in what comes to be known as the Battle of the Cowshed. So the name of that battle is called the Battle of the Cowshed. So just like the Battle of Kalinga, the Battle of Panipat, okay, something like that. There's some name is also given. So in what comes to be known as the Battle of the Cowshed. Cowshed means the area where all the animals will live. That is the cowshed. Okay, the battle that has taken place between the animals and Mr. Jones is called the Battle of the Cowshed, and take the farmer's abandoned gun as a token of their victory. After defeating this Mr. Jones for the second time, they have also taken his abandoned gun as a token of their victory. So here, this is also a simple paragraph. You can also read and understand, right? You go to the next paragraph. As time passes, however, Napoleon and Snowball increasingly quibble over the future of the farm. Okay, here you look at this point. As time passes, time is passing by. Now what happened? Napoleon and Snowball increasingly quibble over. See, these two pigs started quarreling over or arguing over. Quibbling over means arguing over the future of the farm. Who should lead this farm? Who should maintain this farm? So something like that. So over the future of the farm, they started arguing, they started quarreling over, right? They begin to struggle with each other for power. This is very important. After that, they started struggling for power. Power to rule that animal farm. Power to control that animal farm. So they started struggling with each other for power and influence among the other animals. They also started struggling for influence. So that means they started struggling with each other both for power and influence. Yes, dear DSC candidates, you know very well, power is very important nowadays for the people. If you have power, you can do anything. If you have influence, you can do everything. So this point, the writer wants to drive to you. So for this power and influence, these two pigs started struggling with each other. They started struggling with each other for power and influence among other animals. Snowball concocts a scheme to build an electricity generating windmill. So the Snowball is there. What did he do? He concocts. Concocts means fabricates. Okay, he fabricates. Okay, he concocts, he fabricates a scheme. What is that scheme? To build an electricity generating windmill. Electricity generating windmill is there. So big tower will be there. On this tower there will be some windmill. So when the windmill runs, moves, what happens? Automatically electricity will be generated. With that, they can have lights and other uses. You know that very well. But Napoleon solidly opposes the plan because they started arguing or struggling over power and influence, you know very well. So therefore, whatever Snowball proposes to do, this Napoleon has started opposing it. This Snowball wants to build an electricity generating windmill, whereas this Napoleon opposes that very strongly, very solidly. You know that very well. Now you move on to other paragraphs. At the meeting to vote on whether to take up the project, Snowball gives a passionate speech. So here you pay attention. The very next day, this Snowball convenes a meeting with all other animals in order to take the consent of other animals also. So, building an electricity generating windmill is only his proposal, but he cannot go forward with his own proposal. He should also obtain the consent of other animals living with him. So therefore, he has conducted a meeting. In that meeting, he has requested all other animals whether they should go forward with the project or not. So in that meeting, what happened? The Snowball delivers a wonderful speech, a passionate speech, although Napoleon gives only a brief retort. But this Napoleon doesn't like that proposal, and therefore he just gives only a brief retort. Retort means a quick and cutting reply. Sometimes in the movies also you can say the comedians or the other people will be giving some cutting reply. Cutting means sharp reply. So that's called, here this Napoleon gives only a brief retort. That means he doesn't like that proposal of this snowball, and then makes a strange noise. And he makes some kind of strange noise because Napoleon is not a human being, he is a pig. So he makes a strange noise, and immediately what happens, 9 attack dogs, the puppies that Napoleon had confiscated in order to educate. So these 9 attack dogs, which are given training by this Napoleon, okay, and burst into the barn, into that meeting hall, into that barn. Barn is nothing but, yes, that is the room where grains are stored. That is called barn. Okay. So in that some meeting was going on with all the animals. So now what happened? These 9 attack dogs, were called by this Napoleon, and they immediately burst into the barn and they started chasing this snowball from the farm. So they started attacking this snowball. And now snowball started running away from the farm, and the dogs chased it till this snowball left that animal farm. So this is how this Napoleon had driven away this snowball from that animal farm, okay, with the help of his 9 attack dogs. Okay, so this thing happened in this paragraph, and now you move on to the next paragraph of the story. Napoleon assumes leadership of animal farm. After this snowball has left the animal farm, after he was driven out of this animal farm, this Napoleon assumes the leadership. This opposition leader was made to leave the farm. And therefore now only Napoleon remains in the farm, and he assumes the leadership of this animal farm and declares that there will be no more meetings. See, soon after he takes up the leadership of that animal farm, he declares that there will be no more meetings. See, he started ruling that animal farm oppressively. He has just started ruling the animals oppressively. He now says there will be no more meetings. No more meetings will be conducted on this animal farm. From that point on, he asserts the pigs alone will make all of the dishes. He has also said that only the pigs will make decisions on this farm. What all the decisions are to be made, that are made only by the pigs and not by other animals. So he has made it clear, and for the good of every animal. So all the pigs will make decisions for the good of each and every animal of the farm. Napoleon has quickly changed his mind about the windmill, and the animals, especially Boxer, devote their efforts to completing it. After this snowball left the animal farm, and Napoleon becomes the leader of that animal farm, he now changes his mind and he orders for the construction of the windmill. Earlier he has said no to this windmill, but now he has changed his mind and he has ordered for the construction of the windmill. Okay, all the animals, especially Boxer, devote their efforts. They started working for the construction of the windmill, completing it one day. So they have worked very hard. They completed that windmill, okay, electricity generating windmill. One day, after a storm, the animals find the windmill toppled. One day what happened now, after some storm took place on that animal farm, and after that, the animals found the windmill toppled. Toppled means destroyed or damaged or dismantled. They have found the windmill toppled. So all the animals became shocked and stunned. And let us see what next happens. Okay, look at the meaning of this passage. The human farmers in the area declare smugly that the animals made the walls too thin. So the human farmers living around this animal farm have immediately come to that animal farm, and they have declared very smugly means very arrogantly and very proudly, that the outer walls were constructed very weakly. are very thinly and all that. So because of the thin outer walls, the weak outer walls, the enemies could easily get into the animal farm and they only could destroy the windmill. So that is what they have said there. But Napoleon claims that Snowball returned to the farm to sabotage the windmill. But Napoleon firmly says that Snowball has returned to the farm in order to sabotage. Sabotage means to deliberately destroy the property belonging to the opposition party. Opposition party వాళ్ళకు చెందినటువంటి ఆస్తిని కావలసుకొని ధ్వంసం చేయడాన్ని sabotage అంటారు. So here what is that? Napoleon says that Snowball has returned to the farm in order to sabotage the windmill. And therefore, what does Napoleon do? He stages a great purge. He arranges a big meeting. In that he wanted a great purge. He wanted to remove all those that support Snowball. And he wanted to retain with the farm only those animals that support him. తనను సపోర్ట్ చేసే వాళ్ళని తన ఫామ్లో ఉంచుకొని స్నోబాల్ను సపోర్ట్ చేసిన వాళ్ళని తరిమి కొట్టాలని that is a program. He stages a great purge. And during which, what is that? Animals who have allegedly participated in Snowball's great conspiracy. So actually, some of the animals of this farm are in favor of Snowball and they have helped that Snowball when he came to sabotage the windmill. So that Napoleon knows pretty well, and therefore he wants to remove those animals from that animal farm. And now what happened? He has conducted that meeting, and in that meeting, he is making it clear to all the animals. Here is a meaning: any animal who opposes Napoleon's uncontested leadership, any animal who disobeys the leadership of himself, as Napoleon meet instant death at the teeth of the attack dogs. So he is making it clear to all the animals. Whoever opposes me will meet a very terrible death at the teeth of the trained dogs, at the teeth of the attack dogs. So he is making that matter clear to all the animals. He has also given a warning to other animals that have allegedly supported the Snowball's great conspiracy. Snowball conspiracyలో పాల్గొన్న వాళ్ళకి హిండే చెప్పేసిన anybody who rebels against me, who opposes me, will face what? Instant death. Instant death at the teeth of the attack dogs. That is there. He is not going to kill them with a gun or anything, but he is going to kill them with the help of the attack dogs. Okay, so this is the warning given to all the animals of the animal farm. And now you see the condition of the animal farm. Who will dare to oppose this Napoleon now? No animal is ready to dare this Napoleon. See the situation of this Union Soviet Socialist Republic. Right, and here look at the meaning of this second paragraph. With his leadership unquestioned. No, now what happened? Napoleon's leadership has become unquestioned. That means there is nobody who can oppose the leadership of this Napoleon. He has firmly become the leader of that animal farm. So that thing has happened. And here Boxer, the cart horse, okay, has taken up a second maxim. It's first maxim. What is that first maxim? I will work harder is the first maxim. It has proposed that first maxim to all other animals at the beginning of the animal farm. Very well. And here now the second maxim this Boxer has proposed to be adopted by all animals. What is that? Napoleon is always right. See that some clever people are there. See, according to the situations, according to the circumstances, they keep on changing the colors. Changing the colors according to the situations and circumstances itself is called politics. రాజకీయం అంటే అదే కదా. కేసీఆర్ ఉన్నప్పుడే ఆయనకు అందరు జై అన్నారు. ఆయన దిగిపోగానే అందరూ కాంగ్రెస్కు జై అంటున్నారు. ఈయనను విమర్శిస్తున్నారు. ఆయనని ఒకప్పుడు ఎత్తి పట్టుకున్న వాళ్ళు ఇప్పుడు ఈయన నెక్స్ట్ ఈయన ఉంటుందో ఉండదు. ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ దే అగైన్ గో టు కేసీఆర్ అండ్ దే సే యు ఆర్ గ్రేట్, యు ఆర్ దిస్, బికాస్ సమ్ పొలిటికల్ లీడర్స్ ఆర్ దేర్. they change colors like a chameleon. ఊసరవేలిలాగా రంగులు మారుస్తారు according to the situations and circumstances. So here also this boxer is changing his color, and he says Napoleon is always right. And Napoleon begins expanding his powers. Okay, little by little on this animal farm, this Napoleon begins expanding his powers, rewriting his history to make Snowballs a villain. So afterwards, he has made very cleverly, very carefully that Snowball is not a good one, but a villain of the animal farm. See that he has exposed this Snowball as a villain to all other animals. He is a villain to this animal farm, something like that. Napoleon also begins to act more and more like a human being. So afterwards, what happened? This Napoleon, so the pig started behaving more and more like a human being. What did this Napoleon do? Sleeping in a bed. This Napoleon started behaving like a human being, sleeping in a bed just like a human being, drinking whiskey, okay, engaging in trade with neighboring farmers. So he was doing business with neighboring farmers and all that. So he was behaving more and more like a human being, though this Napoleon is only an animal. So like that. Okay, now you move on to other paragraphs of the story. The original animalist principles strictly forbade such activities. As a matter of fact, according to animalist principles or animalism, such things are totally forbidden, strictly forbidden. That means like a human being sleeping on a bed, like a human being drinking whiskey, and like a human being corresponding or doing business with neighboring farmers. So all such things are strictly prohibited according to this original animalist principles. It is prohibited. But this Napoleon is doing all of them. Okay, but Squealer, Napoleon's propagandist. So the Squealer is there. The Squealer is also a pig. This is the assistant of Napoleon. He is the propagandist. Propagandist means the spreader of misinformation, false information. Whatever he does, he will twist it and manipulate it, and he will spread that information to all other animals, saying that whatever this Napoleon does, he will do only for the betterment of all the animals only. He will never do anything that is bad for the animals. So like that, he starts manipulating the information. He is the spreader. Propagandist means what? The spreader of false information. Right. Okay. And the Squealer, the Napoleon's propagandist, justifies every action to the other animals. So whatever he does, he will say, and Napoleon is right in doing that. Napoleon is right doing this. So something like that. Every act of this Napoleon, every action of this Napoleon is supported by this Squealer, and that supporting message or information has been spread to other animals. Okay, convincing them that Napoleon is a great leader and is making things better for everyone. See that? What is Squealer saying? Hey man, Napoleon is a great leader, and whatever he does, he is doing only for the betterment of everyone, for the good of everyone. ఆయన ఏం చేసినా మన మంచి కోసం చేస్తుంటాడు. ఆయన చెడు చేయడం లేదు. ఈజ్ అ గ్రేట్ లీడర్. Despite the fact the common animals are cold, though the animals are very unhappy. Cold means very unhappy, sad and sorrowful. So they are feeling hungry. They are not being fed properly. They are not being given food properly. Enough food is not being given to them. And they are starving. They are starving. And here they are also made to work more. They are overworking. So also they are unhappy, they are hungry, they are overworking. So though these conditions are there, but the Squealer says, whatever this Napoleon does, he does only for the good of every animal of this animal farm. So this is there. So in the political scenario also, some persons will be there. Whatever the main leader says and does, okay, and the other Rota leaders will say is very good for the welfare of the state, for the progress of the state, and something like that. So here in every government there will be some people, they will be supporting the decisions of the main leader. So here the squealer is there. What is he doing? He is supporting this Napoleon, this leader. Okay, whatever he says, whatever he does, he will then manipulate that matter, and he will make it positive. Whether he takes a negative decision, he will make that negative decision a positive decision to the people. He will make it look positive to the people. And you go to the next paragraph. Mr. Frederick, a neighboring farmer, cheats Napoleon in the purchase of some timber and then attacks the farm and dynamites the windmill, which had been rebuilt at a great expense. So here one story is there. Mr. Frederick is there. He is a neighboring farmer. The story is very simple. Okay, cheats Napoleon in the purchase of some timber. He only cheats Napoleon in the purchase of some timber. Timber means some wood. Okay, and then attacks the farm and dynamites the windmill. He not only cheats Napoleon and attacks the farm, but also dynamites the windmill. That means he blights up, or he blasts that windmill also, which had been rebuilt at a great expense. Again, that windmill was rebuilt. Okay. After the demolition of the windmill, a pitched battle ensues. So when the windmill was demolished, okay, or dismantled, what happened? A pitched battle. That means an intensive fighting ensues between the animals and this neighboring farmer, during which, what is that? Boxer receives major wounds. And this boxer, the cart horse, receives major wounds. The animals rout the farmers. All the animals rout. Rout means defeat disastrously. Rout means defeat disastrously. So all the animals rout the farmers. They defeat the farmers, but boxers injures weaken him. So here, if you look at this, see the neighboring farmer, this Mr. Frederick, see unnecessarily cheats Napoleon in the purchase of timber, and he attacks the farm and he dynamites, means he blasts, okay, he demolishes the windmill, and of course that was rebuilt again, okay, and after the demolition of the windmill, what happened? These animals did not keep quiet. A pitched battle, a serious battle takes place between the animals and this neighboring farmer, okay, and during which boxer receives major wounds, very well, and animals, all the animals rout. Rout means defeat disastrously whom? The farmers, but boxers injuries weaken him. So all these things you have learnt in this paragraph, and let's now move on to other paragraphs of the story. When he later falls while working on the windmill, he senses that his time has nearly come. So when he later falls while working on the windmill, so this boxer, in the fight that has taken place between the animals and the neighboring farmers, receives serious injuries, and after that, while working on the windmill, he falls down. He receives more injuries. Already he was injured and he receives more injuries. What is that? He senses that his time has nearly come. Now what happened now? He has understood that he is going to die sooner or later. Right. One day, boxer is nowhere to be found. After a few days, boxer was nowhere to be found, according to Squealer. And then Squealer says boxer has died in peace after having been taken to the hospital, praising the rebellion with his last breath. And this Squealer, the propagandist, the twister of message, okay, what did he do? He says that boxer has died in peace after having been taken to the hospital. So he has said to other animals that this boxer has been taken to hospital for the treatment of his injuries, but in that hospital, praising the rebellion, he has breathed his last. That means he has passed away, he has died. That's what he tells. But in actuality means in reality, what happened? Napoleon has sold his this most loyal boxer and a long-suffering worker to a glue maker in order to get money for whiskey. So this, in actuality, what happened? This Napoleon has sold this boxer, this most loyal and long-suffering worker, to a glue maker, to some businessman just for the sake of money for whiskey. So this point you understand. See how this leader has extracted work from that loyal servant, and afterwards how he has sold that fellow, that boxer, mercilessly to some businessman. You can understand. So in a dictatorship government, what happens, you might think that the leader is in favor of you, but you don't know when that leader changes his mind against you, and when he will punish you. All these things you don't know. So here this boxer is a very devoted worker in that farm. He is a hard-working animal. He worked very hard for the windmill, and he supported Napoleon very strongly. All such things are there. Despite all these things, what happened? He has sold him to a businessman just for whiskey. Right. And now you move on to the next paragraph. Years pass on animal farm. So after that, several years have passed by, okay, on animal farm, and the pigs become more and more like human beings, walking upright. They started walking straight and like human beings, carrying whips. They also started carrying whips and all that, and wearing clothes. These are all the activities to be done by the human beings. So therefore, they are also behaving like human beings. Eventually, the 7 principles of animalism, known as the 7 commandments, inscribed on the side of the barn. So here, when old Major was alive, what happened? 7 principles of animalism were written there. After the death of old Major, these 7 principles of animalism were written on the wall of the barn, okay, and known as the 7 commandments, and they were inscribed on the side of the barn, okay, become reduced to a single principle. All the 7 principles of animalism have been reduced to only one principle. What is that? All animals are equal. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. జంతువులందరే సమానం, కానీ కొన్ని జంతువులు మాత్రం మిగతా జంతువుల కంటే ఎక్కువ గొప్ప అయినవి, సంథింగ్ లైక్ దట్. Some animals are more equal than others. So this is the slogan, this is the principle that has been written on the wall of the barn, striking off all the 7 principles of animalism or 7 commandments, okay, right. So instead of these 7 principles of animalism, only one principle has been inscribed on the wall of the barn, okay. So after a few years, now let's move on to other paragraphs of the story. Napoleon entertains a human farmer named Mr. Pilkington at a dinner and declares his intent to ally himself with the human farmers against the laboring classes of both the human and animal communities. So here you look at this very interesting and important point. Now what happened after a few years have passed by? One day this Napoleon started entertaining a human farmer named Mr. Pilkington at a dinner, okay, and declares his intent. Intent means his interest to ally. To ally means to co-work or to associate himself with the human farmers. That means he wants to mix up with the human farmers and he wants to associate with the human farmers, okay, much against the will of labor classes of both the humans and animal communities. Okay, yes, here this is much against the labor classes of both the human communities and animal communities. వీరి ఇష్టానికి అభిష్టానికి వ్యతిరేకంగా వీరితో కలిసి అతడు మరి ముందుకు సాగాలని this Napoleon was planning, right. The same thing he declared in that dinner party, okay. He also changes the name of animal farm back to manor farm. In that meeting only, he also changes the name of animal farm back to the manor farm, claiming that this title is the correct one, manor farm. Because in the manor farm, what is that? The owner of that manor farm, the landlord of the manor farm was an absolute person, and nobody was there to oppose his leadership, oppose his power and all that. He was enjoying absolute power in that farm, isn't it? Therefore, he again changes this animal farm back to this manor farm, because he says this title is only the fitting one, this is only the correct one, because this Napoleon is only the monarch of that farm. He is only the one and only person who is enjoying absolute power, and there is nobody who can oppose him on that farm. So that's why here this is again the name of this animal farm has been changed back to this manor farm. Okay, and looking in at the party elites through the farmhouse window, the common animals can no longer tell which are pigs and which are the human beings. So all other animals peeped into the dinner party room. The party was going on in the big hall, and all other animals were outside. They were hungry, they were very unhappy, and they peeped into that dinner party room, the party room, through the windows, through the holes and all that, and they could no longer find the difference between the pigs and the human beings. That means the pigs are behaving like human beings, the human beings are behaving like pigs. బాగా తాగిన తర్వాత హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్స్ కూడా పందుల్లాగానే ప్రవర్తిస్తుంటారు. They don't know what they are doing. But other animals could not find any difference between these pigs and human beings. So that is the point he tells us in this paragraph. Now we move on to the next paragraph of the story. So it is a shockingly unfortunate thing to find that the pigs have become one with the human farmers. So in that dinner party hosted by Napoleon to Mr. Pilkington, the neighboring farmer, what happened in that dinner party, the pigs have become one with the human farmers. That means the pigs and the human farmers have become mixed up, and they have forgotten their identity. They have forgotten their originality. The pigs have forgotten that they are animals, and the human farmers have forgotten that they are human beings. So forgetting their identities, forgetting their originality, what is that? They have become mixed up and they have become one in that dinner party. Why did they become one in that dinner party? Means because both the groups are equally corrupted. You know very well, the pigs are totally corrupted, totally spoiled, and the human farmers are also totally corrupted. How? By the reality of political power. That means because of the political power, both the pigs and the human farmers have become totally corrupted, totally spoiled, totally dishonest, totally immoral. Right now, the animals earlier maxim, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. So this was the maxim of this animal farm in the early days. Okay, they said 4 legs good. 4 legs good means animals are good. 4 legs, who will have 4 legs? Only the animals will have 4 legs. So 4 legs good means animals are good. 2 legs means human beings. So 2 legs are bad. So that was the maxim that used to be in the early days of this animal farm. Now what happened? It has been conveniently changed, and it has been conveniently changed, comfortably changed to 4 legs good. See, 4 legs good. Okay, that means again the animals are good, 2 legs better. So earlier 2 legs bad, but now what happened? 2 legs better. That means the human beings have become better or good for these animals. That means the animals are good and the human beings are also good. So now the mindset of the animals has changed. The opinion of the animals has changed, because these animals are behaving like the human beings. The human beings are behaving like the animals. Therefore, the animals who have been watching this dinner party from outside have found no difference between the pigs and the human farmers. So they could not find any difference between these two, because both of them are drinking, both of them are playing cards, both of them are enjoying, both of them are doing all sorts of things in that dinner party. So that's why why they could not find any difference between these animals and the human farmers and all that. So this is the meaning of this paragraph. And now we move on to the last paragraph of the story. Thus the story sadly concludes with the animal farm's transformation into a totalitarian regime. So earlier it was very good, but now it has become transformed totally into a totalitarian regime, then autocratic regime, a despotic regime and all that. Now the whole animal farm is under only one man's control, that is Napoleon. So any government that is under one man's control is called a despotic rule or authoritarian rule, totalitarianism. There are so many names for that. Anyway, this animal farm once upon a time was a democratic place, but now has become transformed into a totalitarian regime. Okay, symbolizing, that means standing as a symbol. What is this totalitarian regime standing as a symbol? It is standing as a symbol for betrayal of revolutionary ideals. You know very well, in this totalitarian regime, what happened? The revolutionary ideals have been betrayed, and the cyclical nature of power and oppression. So this totalitarian regime stands as a symbol for betrayal of revolutionary ideals. Unless your revolutionary ideals are given up, you cannot set up a totalitarian regime, isn't it? Before you enter the political power, you want to be a socialist, you want to be a democratic, but after entering the political power, you want to be a totalitarian, you want to be a despot or dictator and so on. So here, how could you become so? Means you have given up your revolutionary ideals, you have betrayed your revolutionary ideals. Therefore this totalitarian regime could be formed there, that is there. And here this totalitarian regime also stands as a symbol for cyclical nature of power and oppression. Cyclical nature means general nature or regular nature of power and oppression. So where there is power, there is oppression. Where there is oppression, there is power. So this power and oppression go hand in hand. Where there is power, there is oppression. Where there is oppression, there is power. So therefore this power and oppression go hand in hand. So here this totalitarian regime stands as a symbol for betrayal of revolutionary ideals, one point, and cyclical nature of power and oppression. So in this way, this animal farm ends very sadly. Okay, earlier the animal farm was a democratic area, democratic place, but now it has been turned or it has been transformed into a totalitarian regime, a totalitarian place and all that. Okay, this point you have to understand. So it is really a sad transformation. Right, and now let's go to the last slide where we can find the message which the writer wishes to give you through this animal farm. Right, some message George Orwell would like to give you through this animal farm. What is that? Here you pay attention. Through Animal Farm, George Orwell cautions the people. He is cautioning them, he is warning them against what? Against the dangers of totalitarianism. Totalitarianism is very dangerous to the people. Totalitarianism is some system in which the democratic people cannot survive. The people who wish to be socialistic, the people who wish to be democratic cannot survive, because it is a kind of dictatorship. It is a kind of one-man rule. It is a kind of autocracy. It is a kind of despotism. It is a rule by one person, and therefore there are so many dangers out of this one-man rule. So therefore, this George Orwell is cautioning all the people against the dangers of totalitarianism. That means, the people should not like totalitarianism. They should hate it. They should keep this totalitarianism away from them. Okay, that is one point. And next, the abuse of power. And through this novella, George Orwell also tells us about the abuse of power. He is cautioning them against the abuse of power, the misuse of power. whoever is in power is sure to misuse that power. So in the government, what happens, the government leaders, the political leaders are most likely to misuse their power. So therefore, in the totalitarian government, you can find the abuse of power and the corrupting influence of power. And this power has a corrupting influence. Corrupting means spoiling effect is there for this power. Power is really powerful. Whoever has power is the king, that's all. Is the monarch, that's all. And therefore, for this power, the people nowadays are spending crores of rupees. Just to be elected as an MLA, just to be elected as an MP, what is happening? People are spending hundreds and hundreds of crores of rupees. So they are spending 100 or 200 crores of rupees means you understand with the 200 crores of rupees he is going to buy that power. And after he comes into power, what does he do? He can gain more than that amount and he can enjoy that power a lot. Without that assurance, how can he spend this much amount in the elections? So that is there. He is spending for his election 100 crores means, he is going to get after his election more than 100 crores of money. That guarantee is there outside. That assurance is there outside. And that is why these political leaders are not hesitating even to spend crores of rupees even for a small political power. For a Sarpanch post, for a ZPTC, MPTC, or even for a small thing, MLA, MP, okay, Rajya Sabha MP, whatever it is. Even for a small political power, they are spending lakhs of rupees, crores of rupees. Because this power is very powerful. And this power has a corrupting influence also. Corrupting means spoiling influence. If you have power, you are sure to be corrupted. You are sure to be spoiled because this power has that corrupting influence, one point. And next, the betrayal of revolutionary ideals for power. And here he is also warning the people against the betrayal of revolutionary ideals for power. For political power, nobody should betray his revolutionary ideals. But nowadays what is happening? Most of the people are betraying means giving up their revolutionary ideas, revolutionary thoughts just for the sake of this political power. So through this animal farm, George Orwell is cautioning the people against the dangers of this totalitarianism, first thing, the abuse of power, second thing, the corrupting influence of power, third thing, the betrayal of revolutionary ideals for power. These are four things. Again, these four things he is cautioning all the people. Right. And he appeals to all the people to strive for upholding justice and equality as far as possible. So he is appealing to all the people of this world to work for supporting justice and equality. All the people of this world must work for justice. All the people of this world must work for equality. So these are the great virtues, justice and equality. So all the people of the world must strive for upholding means supporting justice and equality as far as possible. So that is another point. And last point here is he opines that the possession of revolutionary ideals alone may be a mere waste. If you have only the revolutionary ideals, they are a mere waste. Why? Unless they are followed strictly and scrupulously. That means, if these revolutionary ideals are not followed scrupulously or strictly, as long as these revolutionary ideals are not followed strictly and scrupulously, the possession of these revolutionary ideals is just a mere waste. వీటిని పాటించనంత వరకు అవి ఉండి కూడా నిష్ప్రయోజనమే. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ జార్జ్ ఆర్వెల్ ఈజ్ టెలింగ్ యూ త్రూ దిస్ ఎనిమల్ ఫార్మ్. దిస్ ఎనిమల్ ఫార్మ్ ఈజ్ రియలీ ఎ బ్యూటిఫుల్ novella, a very meaningful novella, and it is quite applicable to the present times. Okay, and with this this video comes to an end. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hello dear DSC candidates. Thank you so much for watching this video, second video on animal farm. and I hope you have understood the summary of this animal farm. If you have any problem in understanding any of the things I have explained in this video, please make a mention of it in the comment section. Okay, and I am also going to upload very shortly 2 more videos on animal farm. One is on literary devices employed in animal farm. The other one is important quotes and a small test consisting of 30 bits from the examination point of view. So these 2 videos are also going to be uploaded very shortly, and please wait for them. So with those 2 videos I shall be back to you. Until then, bye, see you all of you. Right.